don't, I, look, I've been anticipating this would happen. One day, I expected BD3 before, at this point, with how long it's been, but, look, I'm gonna be streaming this. I'll probably try and fit in Rhino as well after I finally do the answer it all as a stream, but I've already played Rhino before for the reference. Oh my, I have to at least break this down. So I'm sorry for rambling. I'm sorry for taking y'all's time up so preciously, but look, us Bravely fans are dedicated and determined, and I'm still just baffled and blown away. This is just let's just go. Let's just go in. So fully uncompressed cutscenes for one. This is 1-to-1 the exact cutscene uncompressed. We know they have these files. We know for a fact they've had these files since before the sequel even came out that were uncompressed HD 1080p. We can expect that to just be what this is here for all of the cutscenes. So, this should be no surprise. The background has been updated completely. This is a much higher resolution shot of it. You can actually make out specific rubble instead of it just being chars and burns. You can actually make out this used to be a house, these are fences. You can actually make it out now. This is not something even using Citra 4K back when that was a thing before Nintendo nuked it. You could see properly. The only way to see this beforehand was if you had the art book or a scan of the art book. So already we're seeing higher detailed LODs. This is not new, but it does look completely changed. This is a much higher base resolution. Going back for a second, this is also, similarly to what I just said, these are all base textures back here. Like, everything around this is just a base texture, essentially, that's animated for the crystal. We've known this for a long time. That's just how the game got around a lot of resource management. Did cost a lot of time actually drawing it up because there's like 17 different versions for each colored crystal along with all the animated effects. But yes, all this is just the same texture, but it seems to just be a higher quality image that they use. Maybe even the raw image now, just upscaled slightly. Because again, the only way to see these before were... yeah. And now this... these are new details. You could make these out before, but they were a lot more blocky. So this has been completely changed right here. The rest of this just looks like a higher version of what normally looks like. So there is new details. The new combat UI. I love it. I still need to see some stuff about it, but this is looking good. I'm someone who defended Bravely Default 2's combat UI. This puts that to shame. This isn't even close from the looks of it. Because it's taking the old combat UI. The freaking portraits are back even for it. And it's just... the buffs going up as the super attack starts going out. freaking HD remaster. It is very much just HD. You can tell. I'll pause here because this is the perfect example. This is still a lower mesh texture. This is still more lower 3D poly model. This is quite literally the 3DS Caldisla model, just with a higher base texture on it. Because originally, most of these details you would not see on the 3DS model. So it's just a really improved texture. That's mainly what they're doing here, is texture reuse. Or not reuse, but texture enhancement. That's the main thing they're doing here. There is some cases we'll get into later where models have been touched up. You can see here the docks, the same as always, just with more detail. Yeah. You can see the chasms also glowing more, which is interesting to note because it could be for 3 reasons. Either A, this is just the time of day making it glowing more than it normally does because of the texture changes. B, without spoiling, this could be related to the finale, but I doubt that. I don't think that's what's going on here. Or C, they're adding new lighting effects, which I think is probably what's going on here to go along with the time of day suggestion that I threw out for A. Like, I think it's just new lighting effects being added. Not many, but new ones. We have a brief shot of the graveyard here in Caldisla. So, we know for a fact this is the same one as always. Those who know. But yeah, this is very much the same as always. Very excited for this. You can see a lot of paint strokes here, which, while visible in the 3DS version, were very sharpened. This is the first big point of issue. You can tell some cropping issue right here with this bush. This is the only one where you can really tell it. It's definitely over here too. It's definitely because back on the 3DS, they were able to hide this a lot better. This might be polished up before release. Hopefully. But yeah, there is some texture overlap issue right here where it was just HD'd. Hunter's gameplay in the volcano on the way to Fire Crystal. The freaking Earth Dragon, or not Earth Dragon, Light Dragon for the freaking side quest, dear lord. Celestial Eye, just... First hint at Celestial Realm stuff, but oh, dear lord, I'm so excited. The battle backgrounds, again, just HD'd. This is the one that I wanted to pause on, thankfully, because we can see it's not just the backgrounds. It's the details on the backgrounds being changed. The only thing I'm pretty sure not changed here is this barrel. This barrel right here, I'm pretty sure it's just the same texture from the 3DS. It's the only one not changed in this entire scene. Everything else here is a higher texture model. Or not model, but texture. Yeah. I'm still just freaking out so much. Sorry for any, like, misspeaks or stutters like that. Oh my... Oh, I can't believe this is actually a thing. We can see the HP pool is here. We can assume, especially given Samurai, this is Chapter 5 plus. Ice Continent area looks the same as always. Echelon is a higher texture at minimum. The folds look to be new. These folds were not there originally. It could just be part of the texture. But originally the Echelon was more steampunkish, a la, say, Sandland and all from Akira Toriyama's mind. And the Akira Toriyama influence definitely shows in this game. This is very clear proof that not all the 3D models at least yet, have been fully touched up, there is a very clear difference here. This pink sash is completely changed compared to the OG. It is a much higher texture. The crown looks the same. It even has the same low poly stuff with it. The eyes and the hair look the same, just more clear because higher detail. The mouth is actually more visible too on everything from what we'll see. But yeah, there is a lot of changes. Anyez's skirt physics. I know that sounds strange to focus on. But like, hold on. Let me... Oh. Wrong button. Just... I forget how the freaking frame advance. I'll just replay. These skirt physics are not new, but this is very clearly a new texture all over Anyez. The headband is completely new. The physics are changed, however. She does have a skirt wave in the original. That's always present. But this specific one that's right here is a lot more windy, which is only used in brief instances normally and not there. That is a lot more just animated overall. So we are seeing new physics, if very minimal. We have the scene of Florum, the scene where Omnis burns down a house and Eudia scolds him, the scene on the bridge right before you confront Victor and Victoria by going to the right of Eternia Central Command. So this is very much endgame stuff right here, Chapter 4, right before the repeat chapters with the spoiler stuff. Yeah, I try not to touch on spoilers. I held off on saying anything for the start because of that, but as you can tell, I'm very excitable right now, so stuff is just... This model right here does not look changed in the slightest. This is the first one where I want to say they might have not changed anything about it, aside from, like, maybe his face. And honestly, I would be fine with that. This was always a good-looking model on the 3DS. You can tell there is some improvements with the shape of the buckle. The buckle was a lot more rigid and sharpened in the original. You could see pixels. This is a lot more refined. The rest of it looks the same, just, again, less sharpened. This is not something the Citra 4K mod allowed. So we are seeing, even in cases like this, where it just looks the same and very minimally touched up, new textures. I'm here of my own Mazur. Free will. And play. Just... This is where the new textures really shine, because, like, Tiz has this little spiky hair, but he looks so much more refined, and the lighting is shining so well off of all of them. Anyez, just looking the same as always. You can really tell Eri here has had some major changes, because Eri has transparent wings. Eri did not have transparent wings before. The transparent wings are a huge change that actually gives us a lot more to talk about than I think we even can realize at the moment, because this has never happened before in a Bravely game. Transparent wings are normally not for fairies. There is never been something with transparent wings before, actually, I'm pretty sure. So this is just a first overall. We can see some pixelation right here on Adia's leg, very minorly. Same with up here on her head. So this is 1080p. Obviously, there is going to be some artifacting that's noticeable still, especially upscaling from barely even 360p, technically 240. So, again, the sheens are crazy. This also is shining a bit more than usual. You can actually tell there's a light source shining from left to right onto everyone. The only exception seems to be Airy, where it seems like it's coming from right to left, but that could just be something with Airy's lighting, specifically because of her glow, which also has been improved. Right after Alternus destroys the crystal powering the echelon, the proprietress, she got updated and looking better than ever. There is some just extra details here. The pocket actually is now noticeably a pocket. You can actually see she's actually just holding a towel behind her and all. Just so much better. Again, new physics with the hair there as well, because the hair didn't move that much. I did want to talk about this. This pose from Camera is not new. He does this pose in the original. He does this pose even for half a second in second, I'm pretty sure. This is when we're first visiting Anchime, obviously. So, the visuals here, I must emphasize, have hugely changed. This is probably the most changed room they showed. And I'm not exaggerating here. The textures are not just improved to the point where even some of the stuff from the paint artifacting has actually been not only retained, but arguably more detailed than it looks in the art book at times. Like, this did not look anywhere as good in spite of the paint artifacting in the art book. You could actually tell, like, they had to pixelize this there. And these cogs. And this light ray, along with the clock, have just been completely enhanced. This is night and day different. The lighting is significantly better than we've ever seen. So lighting has 100% been changed. I know we're only a minute into a 2-minute trailer. We are going to start speaking through some stuff, but that's just something I did want to speak on. Again, lighting has been changed. This room is a lot brighter. This doesn't look updated yet. This is the only thing that doesn't look updated yet. Monster's bed and hospital and the furnace. But the rest of this room looks pretty similar, at least to the art book. Again, Alternus. I just noticed this also, the metal paneling here also looks like a lower res texture compared to the rest of the boat now, so they might change that for release, hopefully. Grand Ship. This looks to be the same texture they used on the 3DS. This looks like a 360p texture just blown up. And then enhanced somewhat, but not by a lot. That's fine for this scene, considering this is when you're introduced to Grand Ship. There's also this right here, if I can... This is the first encounter with Mr. Samurai himself, the Swordsmaster Kami-Izumi, and it's interesting that this entire battle arena is being used now. This was originally split in half, whereas now it's full screen. Originally you had one segment of this cutscene play off, then cut to another segment, then cut to talking. You never had this full interaction. though it did use this battle screen. So this is very interesting. It implies some cutscenes may be changed or altered, even compared to the 4 sequel versions.
Shall be your soul.
The finale of Chapter 4. Don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, big stuff going on here. This is right towards the end when stuff starts going crazy. I must emphasize the lighting, the sheens on her dress and all, the spotlight for her speech at the Forum Festival. Everything has been improved. This also gives us a new text font look. This is a new font. It's very reminiscent of the old font, but it is a new font. So it's just an HD version of the old font. This will be amazing for anyone wanting to do Bravely memes, because if there's a new font in HD like this, then well, Octopath never used that font. Bravely Default 2 never used that font. This is the first time we're getting the OG font in any form of HD, and it looks so much better. I had Victor and Victoria. Oh wait, I actually didn't even notice this. I'm actually going to have to... Hold on. Let me see if I can... Okay, this looks to be a new texture for the bat, which is insane. The bat form that only appears in that singular cutscene got improved. So they are even improving small stuff. So stuff that we see in this trailer that's not improved might just be updated later. Speaking of not improved, this is the only case of the art not looking fully improved. The entire background for the top of Eternian Central Command, where the Council of Six is located, looks identical to that of the 3DS version and the art book, which always looked about this way. I assume there just isn't a higher res version they can use. But you can notice some details from the art book, like how there is this island right here on the map. This is presumably either something we just don't know about, or something they just put there to show that's a map. Still, again, the HD cutscene for the opening, those we've known have existed, so we can just skim by this. So yeah. Return to the world of LUXENDARC. Again, the beautiful hand-drawn, just with the new lighting. The new asterisk. We get a look at some stuff here that I do want to go into. So, obviously nothing new here. They're just going through the jobs and all. This looks just like an improved version of the old menu, you know. There is something that annoys me, and that's that they specifically gave Ring a Bell this outfit. Why does this annoy me? Censorship, my dear Watson. Censorship. The original release of Bravely Default in the West was technically the second release of Bravely Default in Japan, called for the sequel. However, it was also censored in the West. How so? Well, there was some stuff like costumes. Specifically, the Bravo bikini for Adia, which we don't see in this trailer at all. And the female vampire outfit, which was literally just belts and a cape. And cat ears, which were very adorable. Nothing else. Literally, like, using the spell fencer outfit here, which is actually slightly uncensored. There used to be more on the thigh and the bra originally in the US release and global releases. So there is a chance that this will be uncensored, but the original thing literally was just belts. I'll put an image on screen, but literally just belts. So if this looks to be the uncensored model for Anya's here, this is the only case where we can say pretty definitively something looks mostly uncensored. And if that is, then the odds that the vampire job is uncensored back to just belts is hugely improved. And that means we could see other changes too. Of course, the Bravo bikini, but nobody's really worried about that because it's just a bikini. Why are people worried about that, for one? But for two, if stuff is being uncensored, there's a point I want to make in just a moment when we get to something else right at the end that will completely just change my perception of what this could mean if this is uncensored. So Braveland default going into the combat system. The new UI, again, look at it. The new UI looks so good. Remastered with enhancements, and then they show the high definition graphics. This is an overblown lie. It did not look this bad, obviously. But what you're comparing to, again, 240p to 1080p, a lot of the changes start really being noticeable. And especially if we can get like a pause like right in the middle, you can see a lot of the changes. Close enough. You can see a lot more lighting on this side than this side. And this side is very clearly using the 3DS version as a base, even if it is more pixelated than the 3DS version was. Fast forward, that's not new, that's just a classic. We love fast forward in our Bravely Default games. This is, I forget the name, but the partner that you could use from Street Pass. You could attach one of these for specific job stuff, and they would also, like for instance, this is not new. This is related to this 11 here. However, this was originally Street Pass locked, so there is a new system to get these boys now actually affecting your characters separate from Street Pass. We can see the only thing they have left is to go to Frost Peak to get the Sea of Eternia. I mean, this is right before the Ice Golem fight. That mini boss sucks, by the way. Anyways, so yeah, you can see they only have the Earth Crystal left. Yeah, this is right after everything with Grand Chip revisit. So you can see they're mid 40s. That makes sense for that fight. High mid 40s. Again, no. I want to focus in on these because these are completely new. These used to be Street Pass Miis. These are not Street Pass Miis. These are actual NPC models now. Including a white mage from Eternia City. One of the old men from Kaldisla. Another one of the wise men who shows up at the graveyard for Eternia. The city, the town of stones and all. And then Eisenberg Knight. So I want to focus on that as well because upgrade online functionality, it says. This entire thing is completely enhanced. You used to just have to scroll around with the touchscreen, and if your touchscreen broke, you were just out of luck. You used to have to tap on these, and if you couldn't tap on these, you were just out of luck. We don't know how you get people, but the fact they do have 98 they can use for a level 1 accessory shop, and the fact it looks to be the same time frame as the original accessory shop in Bravely Default, which was 2 hours, and then you could enhance it. This all looks to be exactly the same, the Venture Badge even, nothing new, improved textures and all, but still. This is also insane because you can just scroll to it now, and it looks to be fully zoomed out at all times instead of something you have to zoom into. And we know they're returning as well, which will make the modding community very happy. I'll get into that in a moment. Again, summon friends. We don't know how this is going to work, but we know this is a Square Enix account being summoned by Anya's. And it's, of course, Square Enix's Anya's, because, of course, we see another sprite here. This specifically, I forget the name, but it is a monster. So, the friend sprites that were attached over here in the party menu are not just limited to NPCs, but also monsters as well. Ring a Bell's Panic Cruise using the Echelon. I want to touch on this because Idea says here, something's broken. Is it going to blow? I think what's happening here is the sequence we go on right after the Echelon makes a crash landing from from Barris and Holly being defeated. And we're just now doing a mini-game for that, or maybe it's something else. I want to touch on the line here as we hear a line from Idea. We hear Idea say, "How can this be?" And then we hear what sounds like Dats from Eisenberg and Grandship say, "Be careful out there." So that's going to be interesting to see. And then there's this. LUXENDARC Rhythm Catch. What is going on here? Freaking glow sticks and all. It looks like the super attack animation. We see some cities here, so I want to focus on Florum specifically. Florum, again, it's the 3DS model. The flowers have been improved all over the place. The flowers are a completely new texture. This is something I noticed when watching the trailer first time. It's just huge. The sand has also been completely changed. This is not a new texture, it looks like. Again, it could be improved later, but the volcanic rock seems to just be an upscale texture. So, yeah, lots of changed textures. The summons look to be completely upscaled. Freaking Susano! My boy! Everything with Eagle.
I've stuck with you until now. Well, there's...
This line right here is the only one where you can tell they uncompressed it because it now peaks. It didn't peak in the original, but was compressed. Now it's no longer compressed, but you can hear it peak. Right there. Lucifer. This is Lucifer from 4 Warriors of Light, meaning Nemesis return. Nemesises return. Nemesises are confirmed. They are here. This has been insanely hyped to see back, meaning back in Norende we will still get Nemesises from however the online functionality will work, which is lovely to see. Nemesises were a huge feature, and I can attest for this. Once the online server started dying, even before the 3DS was shut down, modders started getting really creative with some unique modded balls and nemesises. I hope to see some really creative ones when this comes to Steam.
Please, give me the courage.
I want to focus on that line.
Please, give me the courage.
That line is in the original, but that's a new take on it. It did not sound like that originally. And of course, we just have that. So yeah. Available on Nintendo Switch 2 launch day. Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch is a trademark of Nintendo. Yada yada. Development footage shown. So again, subject to change. Stuff we are complaining about here is important. If you see anything about the textures that you do not like, that's why I'm calling out even the slightest stuff that has been changed, and praising the stuff that I like, while also being critical of like, okay, here's some low-res textures here, here's stuff that needs changed, hopefully we'll see it change in the future like with Monster's Bedroom. Call that out now, because Team Asano does listen. We saw this with Bravely Default 2, and the stuff that they need to change here so far seems to be very minimal. So yeah, just be vocal about that. I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. This has been over 37 minutes of me just rambling about Bravely Default. It'll probably be about 32 once I get the editing, but oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Dear Lord. We are so back. We are so freaking back. Just... oh, thank you, Square. Thank you, Asano and Co. Thank you so much. Just... I'm so happy to be a Bravely fan in this day and age. Oh... I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.